acceleration, like, or the derivative of acceleration, like real life, like, is it like fusion? Like, where does it go?
Okay, listen. The key idea to help you solve any problem that they give you, is learn to ignore the clues and find the question. Don't let all the clues overwhelm you. Find the question. Hands up, what's the question? Go, Mary.
What is the y value at g prime of 3?
So I gotta go find g prime of 3, which means I need an equation for g prime. So I go find the y value of g prime when x is 3. Looking for g prime of 3. How many knew that? Answer this question. What is the most common way, like you've done it over and over and over again in many, many problems, to find, like what's the first thing you always look for if you're looking to find g prime of 3? What's up? Like what have you typically done in a lot of problems if you're trying to find g prime of 3? Something that's very normal, it happens all the time. Trying to find g prime of 3, what do you do? Derivative of what? Derivative of g. Here's a formula right here. Okay, I'm trying to make the point, and I will continue to make this point all year. There are not that many things to know in this class. There's just a few things that you have to understand well. It's not a long list. It's like a few things understood well will allow you to solve nearly any problem. I have a formula for g. I just need to find the derivative of that, so I'll have a formula for g prime. So here we go. Take a vote. I just want your preference. Everybody gets points for voting. This means your preference is, you would just tell me your preference. Either preference is fine. You would prefer to understand like one idea, concept, rule thoroughly, and then be able to apply that rule to like lots of different things. Are you the kind of person who likes to say, well, I'd like to know like 6 different ways to do something? Like, do you prefer one method that you just use over and over again, just you understand it really well, you can just always use that method? Would you prefer to know like 3 methods, like, okay, this time I use this one, this time I use this one? Like, what's your preference? This is like 1 method, this is 3 methods. This is uncertain. Okay, I think all but like 1 person in the room voted this. That's my preference. I don't like to memorize. So I keep trying to show you that even though this problem looks different, it really isn't. They're giving you a formula for g, just like some other problem might give you a formula for g. You just take the derivative of g, just like in any other problem. So it's not new. All that changes is now you have to use a different rule. Who knows what rule gets used? Hands. What rule do we use here? Like every time we take a derivative, we have to use rules. What rule gets used here? Julia. How do you do it? 0.2 for Julia. Question. Back to big picture. What's the goal of the problem? Do a little step, go back to big picture. What's the goal? Canyon.
Find the value of g prime of 3.
I want to find g prime of 3. So Canyon, what do I do with this if I'm trying to find g prime of 3?
So you plug in 3 for x.
Plug in 3 for x. problems should always feel different because they keep changing it on you. But the underlying concepts should feel very familiar. Like, oh, okay, it looks weird, but it's what I've done before, so it must be right. Please raise your hand if you knew I needed to plug in 3. Okay, 2 for Kenny. Okay, at this moment you have to remember basic math, which is we can't find f prime of this until we know what this is. So we've got to find f inverse of 3. Now this is a place where if you get stuck, I really do understand. It's because you've forgotten what f inverse means, which forgetting is normal, it's okay. But, sorry.
Should be 6.
Well, yeah. So that is a memory you must recall from last year. And if you didn't recall that, you would get stuck on this problem. It's okay. Memories, we all forget. But it's an easy memory. Questions here?
What causes the
It's just, it's what inverse function means. That's the meaning of inverse function.
So you could do that with all of these. Like you could do f of, if you're looking for the f inverse.
Tell me what to write.
So if you're looking for the f inverse of 15.
That would be what?
3.
Yep.
So for all of those values, you could flip it.
Yep.
If it has the inverse.
It's kind of weird to write the inverse of the derivative, but you can.
Okay.
You can. So, please.
Yeah, how would it look if you're writing the inverse of the derivative? Would it be like f minus?
I don't dare write it because I've never had to. So I have to look in a book to make sure.
Okay, but that wasn't something you can.
I don't remember. It hasn't come up, so good question. Yeah, I'd have to look that one up, Dawson. It's been, I don't know that I've ever had to write that, so. Anybody else? Okay. So now we have this. Back to big picture, right?
So, that equals -1/2.
Question? If you find yourself, when you're discussing problems or when you're working problems, you feel like you're doing like new things every single problem, you're losing track of the concept. Like the concepts here are not new, it's just the same thing presented differently. So we want to talk more about that. Please.
I'm still a little confused by the inverse. Kind of.
Stop this and then we'll